Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Lincoln in the Bardo. Lincoln in the Bardo is a 2017 experimental novel by American writer George Saunders. It is Saunders' first full-length novel, and it was the New York Times hardcover fiction bestseller for the week of March 5, 2017. Saunders is better known for his short stories, reporting, and occasional essays. The novel takes place during and after the death of Abraham Lincoln's son William Wallace Lincoln, and deals with the president's grief at his loss. The bulk of the novel, which takes place over the course of a single evening, is set in the Bardo, an intermediate space between life and rebirth. Lincoln in the Bardo received critical acclaim and won the 2017 Man Booker Prize. Background: the novel was inspired by a story Saunders' wife's cousin told him about how Lincoln visited his son Willie's crypt on several occasions to hold the body, a story that seems to be verified by contemporary newspaper accounts. In March 2017, Saunders provided more detail on the background and conception of his novel. Saunders first announced the novel in a 2015 New York Times interview with the novelist Jennifer Egan, revealing that it would have a supernatural element while remaining ostensibly historical. The novel's title was announced in a conversation between Saunders and Susan Sarandon in Interview magazine in April 2016. That same month, a description of the book was posted on the Random House website. Development: Saunders did not originally intend to write a novel, but the story of Lincoln cradling his son's body stayed with him, and he eventually decided to write about it. The novel began as a single section and was fleshed out over time. To produce the book, Saunders conducted extensive research on Lincoln and the Civil War, consulting, among other books, Edmund Wilson's Patriotic Gore. Saunders rearranged historical sources to get at the necessary historical facts and included excerpts from them in the novel. Many of these sources are cited in the book, along with some fictional ones. Saunders has said that he was scared to write this book. He worried about his ability to portray Lincoln, but decided that limiting his characterization to a single night made the writing process not easy, but easier because I knew just where he was in his trajectory as president, given that his work is generally set in the present. Saunders compared writing a novel set in 1862 to running with leg weights, because he couldn't necessarily do the voices that he would naturally create. Setting: much of the novel takes place in the Bardo, a Tibetan term for the Buddhist intermediate state between death and reincarnation, when the soul is not connected to a body. In Saunders' conception, the ghosts that inhabit the Bardo are disfigured by desires they failed to act upon while alive, and are threatened by permanent entrapment in the liminal space. They are unaware that they have died, referring to the space as their hospital yard and to their coffins as sick boxes. Saunders has said that, while he named the setting after Tibetan tradition, he incorporated elements of the Christian and Egyptian afterlife so as not to be too literal. The selection of the term Bardo, he said, was partly to help the reader not to bring too many preconceptions to it. In a book about the afterlife, it's good to destabilize all of the existing beliefs as much as you can. Adaptations: Saunders has typically recorded his stories' audiobook adaptations himself, but given this novel's cast of 166 characters, he did not feel he could be the sole voice actor for its adaptation. His friend Nick Offerman agreed early in the production process to take a role, as did Offerman's wife Megan Mullally. The two then recruited Julianne Moore, Don Cheadle, Rainn Wilson and Susan Sarandon. Non-celebrities with parts include Saunders' wife, his children, and various of his friends. Mullally and Offerman purchased the rights to produce a film version of the novel 5 weeks after it was released. Saunders will be involved in the process and has said he hopes to find a way to make the experience of getting the movie made as wild and enjoyable and unpredictable as the experience of writing it. Critical reception. Lincoln in the Bardo was acclaimed by literary critics, with review aggregator Bookmarks reporting 0 negative and only 3 mixed reviews among 42 total. The novel won the 2017 Man Booker Prize. The novelist Colson Whitehead, writing in the New York Times, called the book a luminous feat of generosity and humanism. The novel has been compared to Edgar Lee Masters' poetry collection Spoon River Anthology, published in 1915. Some critics made the comparison favorably while others did not. Sales. The novel was a bestseller, included on both the New York Times bestseller list and USA Today's list of best-selling novels. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Would you like to know more?